HBCUs have been a mainstay of the cultures of the bands, the people, and the alumni over the years and decades, but it seems like it has kind of taken a back seat in the sports world. Nonetheless, HBCUs have produced great and exceptional players who floored the NBA with their magnificent skills, hard work, and leadership expertise. Basketball should be in the forefront for every reason. What if I told you that the HBCU universe is a planet where basketball is the greatest sport? We'll be taking you on a journey in this video as we tell you the captivating story of HBCU basketball graduates who went on to become NBA players. We'll also be disclosing what they're doing now, as well as how their skills have positively impacted their society. So stay with us till the very end. It promises to be an adventurous journey. So here are 10 HBCU basketball graduates who became NBA stars. Earl Monroe, NBA showman. Earl Monroe, often known as the Pearl, wowed with his smooth one-on-one dribbling and abilities. American retired professional basketball player Vernon Earl Monroe was born on November 21, 1944. In the National Basketball Association, NBA. He played with the Baltimore Bullets and the New York Knicks, both of which retired Monroe's number. Monroe earned the nicknames Black Jesus and Earl the Pearl for his spectacular skills and on-court success. In 1990, Monroe was admitted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, and in 2013, he was inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame. One of the 50 greatest players in NBA history in 1996, and one of the 75 greatest players in NBA history in 2021, were two accolades bestowed onto Monroe. The Washington Wizards picked the two-time All-American second overall in the first round of the 1967 NBA draft, behind Jimmy Walker, who was chosen by the Detroit Pistons. The Baltimore Bullets were the team who had originally selected Walker. The next season, Monroe averaged 24.3 points per game and took home the NBA Rookie of the Year award. The third highest rookie total in NBA history, he scored 56 points in a game against the Los Angeles Lakers. A master of the hardwood, Earl Monroe put on a spectacular display for thousands of people every night. With his skillful twisting, spinning, faking, double pump, and dribbling, he became a cult figure and was dubbed the Pearl. With a new outlook for kids interested in pursuing professions in sports, the Earl Monroe New Renaissance Basketball School debuts in the Bronx, New York. Filmmaker Dan Cloris created the school, which last week welcomed 110 freshmen. Legendary New York Knicks player Earl Monroe also had a crucial part in the institution's growth. According to the two partners, the goal is not to establish a new hub for elite athletes. Rather, it is to provide both boys and girls core high school curriculum at a high level and to expose and educate pupils about a range of vocations linked to the game of basketball. Regarding the basketball theme, Monroe said, "For both boys and girls, this is a way to be involved. While most people won't be able to participate, it's still a chance to be engaged without having any athletic background." Through a succession of knee ailments during his career, Monroe chose to retire in 1980. It is about transforming the passion into opportunities and a better life. Reverse Spin Records, Monroe's record label, is based in New York and specializes on pop, dance, hip-hop, and R&B music. Sam Jones. Jones was born on June 24, 1933, in Laurinburg, North Carolina. He studied at the Laurinburg Institute. American professional basketball player Samuel Jones, June 24, 1933, December 30, 2021, played shooting guard for the Boston Celtics in the National Basketball Association, NBA. A five-time NBA All-Star, Jones was renowned for his quickness and clutch shots, particularly in the NBA playoffs. Only his colleague Bill Russell has won as many NBA titles as Jones, with a total of 10. Along with colleagues Russell and Kay, he was one of just 3 Celtics. C. Jones to participate in all 8 of the Celtics championship runs from 1959 to 1966. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame counts Jones among its members. When Sam Jones dialed Mr. One of the key players in the incredible Boston juggernaut of the 1950s and 1960s, nicknamed Clutch by many of his contemporaries, was Sam Jones. Throughout his 12-year career with the Celtics, his lightning-fast reflexes, uncanny accuracy on bank shots, and calm temperament helped the club win 10 NBA championships. Jones scored 411 points in his career, averaging 17.7 points per game, and had a 803 free-throw shooting percentage. In 1983, he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame after being chosen for the All-NBA second team 3 times and as an All-Star 5 times. There are only 6 Boston Celtics players who have ever scored 50 points in an NBA game, including Jones. He had the 6th best single-game scoring total for Boston against the Detroit Pistons on October 29, 1965, at the time of his death in 2021. In the 1966 NBA Finals, he also finished with 22 points and 5 rebounds as the Celtics won the series for the 6th time in a row. Jones finished his 12-year NBA career with the Celtics, where he recorded 15,411 points, 2,209 assists, and 4,305 rebounds. When he retired from the team in 1969, he led the team in career scoring. Jones coached at his alma school, North Carolina Central University, in 1973-74, after quitting basketball in 1969. Federal City College, which is now known as the University of the District of Columbia, hired Jones as an assistant coach in 1973. In 1974-75, he worked as an assistant coach with the New Orleans Jazz. In a 2016 interview, Sam Jones said, "For me, this is a dream come true," he remarked. Played and coached in Europe for 16 years of my adult life, I felt it was time to return to the United States and impart all of the knowledge I had gained to the next generation of players. While being able to develop as a coach in this championship atmosphere has been really fulfilling, coaching in the NBA is undoubtedly the ideal. Ben Wallace, Ben Kamey Wallace, was born in Whitehall, Alabama, a tiny community in Lowndes County, on September 10, 1974. Ben Wallace was born and raised in a poor rural Alabaman family, but his strong work ethic and unwavering will to win helped him grow up to become one of the best defensive players in NBA history. All he needed to become a star and an impact player in the NBA was his amazing defense, endless energy, and not much of an offensive threat. Beginning in 2001-02, Wallace won 4 NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards in a 5-year period. Ben was selected to 4 straight NBA All-Star teams in the same time frame, which ran from 2003 to 2006. Throughout his 16-year NBA career, he was named an All-Star just 4 times. Wallace led the Detroit Pistons to the NBA title in 2004, even though there was no real star on the team. Oakley Charles. American retired professional basketball player Charles Oakley was born on December 18, 1963. Oakley was a member of the New York Knicks for the majority of his 19 NBA seasons. He was often rated as one of the NBA's top defensive and rebounding power forwards. In addition, he was a player for the Houston Rockets, Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, and Washington Wizards. He has served as the Big Three Killer Threes coach since 2017. The Cleveland Cavaliers selected Oakley with the 9th overall choice in the 1985 NBA draft. However, his draft rights were transferred to the Chicago Bulls, along with Calvin Duncan, in exchange for Ennis Watley and Keith Lee. A young Bulls team captained by Michael Jordan benefited from Oakley's solid offensive and defensive efforts, as well as another scoring option. In a 125-116 defeat against the Milwaukee Bucks on March 15, 1986, Oakley scored 35 points, a career best. 1986 saw Oakley included on the NBA All-Rookie First Team. Rick Mahorn, born on September 21, 1958, Derek Allen Mahorn is an American former professional basketball player who played center and power forward for the Washington Bullets, Detroit Pistons, Philadelphia 76ers, and New Jersey Nets of the National Basketball Association (NBA). He is currently a radio analyst for the Detroit Pistons and also serves as the head coach of the Big Three's Aliens during the summer. Mahorn was noted for his aggressive style of play. He played for the Detroit Pistons squad nicknamed the Bad Boys in the late 1980s, and they won the 1989 NBA championship. Mahorn played for the Pistons and then joined the Detroit Shock of the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, as an assistant coach under head coach Bill Laimbeer. The Detroit Shock won 2 WNBA championships in 2006 and 2008. In the end, he was named head coach of the Shock and then of Trilogy of the Big Three, where he guided the club to the 2017 Big Three Championship, making Mahorn the only person in history to have won titles in the Big Three, WNBA and NBA. Darrell Armstrong. After making a name for himself as a player, Darrell Armstrong is now an assistant coach with the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA. Former American professional basketball player Darrell Eugene Armstrong was born on June 22, 1968, and spent 14 seasons in the National Basketball Association. The Dallas Mavericks of the NBA, who won the title in the 2010-11 campaign, presently have him as an assistant coach. In late 1994-95, Armstrong signed his first NBA contract as a free agency with the Orlando Magic. He participated in the last 3 regular season games, scoring 10 points in 8 minutes of action, including a remarkable one-handed reverse windmill slam in the closing moments of a blowout victory against the Indiana Pacers in his second game. He scored 42 points overall in only 41 minutes of play over 13 games in 1995-96. In spite of his little playing time, he took part in the 1996 slam dunk contest. After February, he was not involved. James Reed, Jr. Willis Reed, American basketball player, coach, and general manager who lived from June 25, 1942 until March 21, 2023. In the National Basketball Association, NBA, Reed played for the New York Knicks for his entire 10-year professional career, 1964-1974. He was selected as an NBA All-Star 7 times and as an All-NBA player 5 times, including as a member of the first team in 1970, when he won the NBA Most Valuable Player MVP award. Reed also won 2 NBA championships, 1970 and 1973, and was voted the NBA Finals MVP twice. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame inducted Reed in 1982. Both the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams included him. The 1970 and 1973 NBA titles were won by New York, thanks to Reed's winning mentality, tenacity, drive, and leadership. The left-handed Reed achieved the distinction of becoming the only player to be awarded MVP of the regular season, playoffs, and All-Star Game all in the same year, in 1970. Following his playing retirement, Reed worked for over 10 years as an assistant and head coach for a number of teams. From 1989 until 1996, he was elevated to the position of general manager and vice president of basketball operations for the New Jersey Nets. He assisted in guiding them to the NBA Finals in 2002 and 2003, while serving as senior vice president of basketball operations. On March 21st, Willis Reed died suddenly, leaving the NBA community without a legend. After having great careers as a player, coach, and club executive, he left a lasting legacy in the sport that has influenced several generations. If there are qualities that the public will likely remember him for, they are likely his perseverance and determination, which he freely demonstrated to his New York Knicks teammates. Walt Frazier used to remember that the large guy would become upset if he lost a one-on-one match. In an interview with The Athletic in honor of Reed's selection to the NBA 75th anniversary team, Frazier spoke about how the former MVP would always give his all, regardless of the person in front of him. Avery Johnson. At the age of 54, Avery Johnson was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, on March 25, 1969. He is a famous basketball player, coach, and trainer. After retiring, the former NBA point player went on to become a head coach. In his first season as a coach in 2006, he guided the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals, where they were eliminated in 6 games by the Miami Heat. Numerology indicates that Avery Johnson's life path number is 8. Cassandra Johnson is his spouse. 5 feet 10 inches, 1.8 meters, is his height. His estimated net worth is $20 million. You can find out more about Avery Johnson by clicking this link. In this post, Avery Johnson's wife, Junior, net worth, football, KSU, Halo, Kansas State, statistics, and other details will be clarified. After playing for 16 seasons in the National Basketball Association, Johnson went on to lead 2 NBA teams, the Dallas Mavericks and the New Jersey Tar Brooklyn Nets. In 3 straight seasons with 50 or more wins, he guided the Mavericks to their first NBA Finals appearance. Johnson was referred to as the Little General when he was playing because of his modest height by NBA standards, his leadership qualities as a point guard, and his close relationship with David Robinson, a former teammate. Ronald Flip Murray. Ronald Flip Murray, an American professional basketball player who was born on July 29, 1979, is retired. He most recently played for the Lebanese Basketball League's Al Muttahad Tripoli. As a 14-star point guard, shooting guard, he stands at 6 feet 3 inches, 1.91 meters, and weighs 200 pounds, 91 kilos. After leading the Shaw University Bears to the Division II Final Four in basketball during his senior year, Murray was named NCAA Division II Player of the Year and selected by the Milwaukee Bucks with pick number 42 in the second round of the 2002 NBA Draft. He spent his first few NBA seasons as a player for the Seattle Supersonics and the Milwaukee Bucks. In 2003-04, he started to show his scoring potential as a replacement for Ray Allen, who missed 26 games due to injury. In his 82 games, he averaged 12 points in 25 minutes. Following his time in community college, Murray continued his career with Shaw University in North Carolina, where he left a lasting impression. Players at Pro-Am events will receive drinks from Stark No Limits, the official sponsor of the Flip Murray Pro-Am. Ronald Flip Murray serves as the president of the board of directors of Stark International, Inc., a 2016 founded health and wellness startup. Offering wholesome substitutes for the everyday decisions we make is the aim. Products from Stark are designed to help with energy, hydration, muscle growth, and recovery. Stark is intended to address the epidemic of overuse that exists in our society and sports, affecting both children and adults. Zelmo Beatty. Zelmo Big Z. Beatty was an American basketball player who was born on October 25, 1939, and passed away on August 27, 2013. 8 NBA seasons and 4 in the rival American Basketball Association, ABA, were played by Beatty, who was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2016 as a player. Beatty was named an All-Star in the ABA 3 times and the NBA 2 times. Beatty was a 2-time member of the St. Louis Atlanta Hawks NBA All-Star team. In 1970, he headed to the ABA and shot to stardom, averaging 22.9 points per game and grabbing 15.7 rebounds in his debut season with the Utah Stars. In addition to winning playoff MVP, he assisted the Stars in winning the ABA championship that season. Due to his aggressive play and hard work, Zelmo Beatty gained the respect of the biggest names in basketball. Beatty was the kind of player that every man wanted on his team because of his tenacity and his readiness to go above and beyond to secure a win. Beginning at Prairie View A&M, a small NAIA institution south of Houston, Texas, the undersized center's career began. Because he attended a small school, many passed him over for the NBA draft, but he led the team to the 1962 NAIA National Championship, and the St. Louis Hawks selected him third overall in that year's draft. Beatty had 6 knee surgeries during his career, and by 1974, his final season with the Stars, he was severely limited by knee injuries. With 15,207 points and 9,765 rebounds in his combined ABA and NBA career, Beatty retired in 1975. Basketball's heavyweights respected Zelmo Beatty because of his physical play and unwavering work ethic. Beatty was the kind of player that every man desired to have on his team. Cleman James. Born on September 12, 1956, Cleman James Johnson Jr. is an American retired professional basketball player and the former head basketball coach at Florida A&M. Johnson was a 6'10", 240 lb, 110 kilos center who played 761 games for 4 teams during his 10 seasons in the National Basketball Association. From 1974 to 1978, he attended Florida A&M University for his college basketball career, where he earned a master's degree in sports management and a bachelor's degree in economics. The Portland Trail Blazers selected Johnson with the 22nd pick of the second round of the 1978 NBA draft. The Philadelphia 76ers acquired him on February 15, 1983, along with a 1984 third-round selection, 48th overall, Georgia forward James Banks from the Indiana Pacers in exchange for Russ Shona, a 1983 first-round selection, 23rd overall, Mitchell Wiggins, and a 1984 second-round selection, 29th overall, Stuart Gray. Johnson, who went on to become a famous quote, described his trade to the 76ers as, like going from the outhouse to the White House. He was a reserve with the team when it won the NBA championship later that season. Following his NBA playing days ended in 1988, Johnson continued his career abroad, in Italy. Historically, black colleges and universities, HBCUs, have been instrumental in opening doors and giving access to education for marginalized students in K-12 settings since their founding. They have also been a source of educational opportunities for youth from both urban and rural areas, and they continue to be a public resource for the communities surrounding these campuses, which are located in both urban and rural areas, through community partnerships and practices. Brown and Davis, 2001. Academic skills are improved in HBCUs, according to research. Study the HBCU environment generally characterizes these spaces as more supportive for black students, as compared to the environments of TWIs, which may account for some of the observed differences in student outcomes across institutional contexts. Support students' development of racial identities and encourage the expansion of their educational and professional aspirations. Please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell if you would want to see more videos or keep up with our fascinating inches on health. Remember to share, like, and comment. I appreciate you for watching.